How's it going? Luke Slisky with Slisky Land Management. Walking a property today. Got a call from a forester that I work with, who's working on our family's property, and him and I have been talking back and forth. I've put him in contact with some landowners that I've worked with. He's put me in contact with some landowners that he's writing programs and stuff for. Called me up and he told me about this 94-acre property east of me a little bit here, kind of eastern Illinois, east central Illinois. And I'm out here walking it today. It was a cool old property. It had a lot of pasture ground to it. You can't really see because I just walked out of it. But right back through here, right behind me, it kind of went straight that way. It kind of meanders up through the through the bottoms. It's an old pasture ground. It looked like there's an old home place on it and some old barns and stuff, kind of in this little valley. Over here, you can't really tell, but there's about a 40-foot ridge, and that's a top field up there. As I was walking down through here, coming down this trail right here, there was a turkey up here gobbling, and then I walked by a hen on her nest down here. It's pretty thick property, as you can see. So this is the part of the job that people don't show a lot. I definitely don't show it a whole lot. Walking a property, getting an assessment of it, trying to figure out how many acres an hour, if I can even do an acre an hour, what kind of production rate I can get, and fuel costs and expenses and things of that nature. Got a nice little walnut right here, but then next to it we got some undesirable stuff. I got maples, we've got locust trees, we've got a lot of honeysuckle, you can see right there. We got some undesirable stuff, but then you come over here and you get a nice little grove of young walnuts. They're not the healthiest things in the world, but they can definitely amount to something one day if they get some of the competition taken out of them. And it's pretty thick little stand. But then, just across the trail here, you've got competition creeping in. So this property is getting enrolled into a program through the NRCS. I believe it's getting enrolled into the EQIP program. So they're wanting me to come out here with my forestry mulcher, or get them a price on coming out here with my forestry mulcher, and then following it back up with a chemical treatment, whether that's in the spring or in the fall or whatever. Treat the regrowth, either do a foliar spray or come back in the springtime and treat it with a chemical. So I'm walking the property. Very cool old property. Lays out kind of long. It's got a very narrow linear 24 acres that brings you off the road frontage, and then it opens up into a back 70-acre section. Pretty big rectangle, kind of an L-shaped property, but very cool old property. Just needs a little love. It's got a lot of potential. It's got a lot of potential for growing trees, but it's also got a lot of potential to be a extremely thick property. It's got a couple of places that are pretty steep, so I don't know if I'll be able to get to them with any kind of machinery, but we'll see. Yeah, just wanted to make a short video. There's a lot of stuff that I don't see people posting stuff on, so I figured, what the heck, maybe it'd be a little different. Maybe this is boring, I don't know, we'll find out. But this is the stuff that I enjoy. This is the walking around, seeing what a property has to offer, seeing what it could be. Make a trail system. There's one generic trail system that just does a very easy loop throughout the property. There's only one spot. They did some dozer work alongside the fence on the north end of the property. So, so we'll make it a little bit more of an elaborate system in here, so the people can access it for hunting a little easier instead of walking through all their good country, bedding areas, things of that nature, to get to a stand location. So yeah, so that's, like I said, this is my enjoyment. This is where I have the absolute most fun, is seeing what a property is, what it could be, and just, it's completely different around the corner. So like right here, it was pretty thick, and then I'm out. I got a trail that splits off this way, and then I got this one here that goes along the south side of the property, goes over towards the west, and I'm assuming it'll turn back up north and go back. But that's the way we'll take. We'll see what happens. We got a lot of giant sycamores down in this area, next to some nice young walnuts. Then you got a random thorn tree mixed in there, and it's got a whole bunch of old fence. You can tell they sectioned this off. You can see, oh, like a railroad post there. Oh, deer, a couple of deer running through. There's a couple more back there still. They're still in there. But you can see we got a railroad tie there, another one right about there, another one there, and it kind of goes around. So you can see they got different fence lots. Looks like got a lot of vines taking over some of these good trees. That's on a hackberry right there. So this vine system will end up taking over this property, but it makes good for deer, but it doesn't make very healthy for timber. So finish walking around here. Oh, there goes the deer again. Finish walking around here, taking a look at this timber, and then give my assessment to the forester and see what the forester says. I'm getting close here to where the inside corner of the L shape of this property is, and you can see behind me back in here, very open, young canopy, young trees, very open walnut ground. You can tell it had been pastured for quite a while, old like cattle pasture, home site, things of that nature. But then it's crazy, we'll start going uphill here. Turn the camera around so you can start going up here, raising an elevation, and everything starts to change. You can tell they didn't run the cows in here near as much, and all the livestock. The trees get older, but then it gets real thick. Like you got all these vines right here. Definitely got a couple taking that tree over. Surprised it's still going, but it's hanging in there. You know, it's a nice young walnut. Won't stay very nice for much longer, but you got a lot of vine competition in here. I mean, just a ton of vines. Taking that over as well. So you got some nice walnuts here, but then as we start climbing up, it's probably only 100 and some odd yards wide right here in this inside corner. But we'll start getting some real nice hardwoods in here. You can kind of see glimpses of the field over there through the trees, but that's the inside corner of the timber. So, you know, it's only 150 yards wide, give or take. But then here up here, you start getting into real nice mature. It's a nice walnut, almost mature. Start getting into some oaks. A lot of maples. They got a lot of maples on this property. Starting to get hickories. A lot of nice young hickories. Some old cherries in here. Some of them seen better days. Yeah, you can see that's the neighbor's property. That's one of the north lines right there. But over in here, you know, you got some nice mature old trees. Big shagbark hickory there. And this is where it starts opening up into the mature trees with a dense canopy, which also chokes out the understory a little bit. You'll see it change here just a little bit. So right up in here, that's where the change makes. Here's the inside corner of the property line right here on this post. And this starts that long, narrow 24 acres that goes north. But it goes, long 24 acres goes north. And then the 50 acres starts down that way. This is the north fence row. And it's 70 acres. Goes in a big square around here. And then comes back up and meets, you can barely see it, but there's a field right there. Meets that, and then it just turns and goes north. But this spot here, I'm not scheduled to touch. It's a little, this particular spot right here is open and mature. I won't do a whole lot in here. I'll get some vines as needed, some invasives as needed. But the forester's talking about doing a hand spray up here. You can't really tell it, but up here it starts getting thick again, where they had clear cut for a pasture, and everything's just ridiculously thick and very young. You start getting stuff every 2, 3, 4 inch range up there, so nothing crazy at all. But what I'm looking at bidding is all back here, this 70 acres, and on the high side it looks like this here. It's got some mature trees, a lot of walnuts in here, but a real dense with thorns and briar patches and vines and hedge trees and all that stuff. So try to get it opened up and get it cleaned up, make it a healthy marketable timber. Taking a video up here on the top section. It's an area you can tell that they had cleaned out a lot more. Probably ran cows up in here quite a bit. This is a higher section. I don't know if you can really tell, but just a ton of thorn trees and hedge trees and invasives and just undesirable, bunch of undesirable crap that's grown up. And this is a section that I probably won't be working in, but the landowner will probably have work done. I think the forester said he would maybe come up here and try to treat all this by hand. You can see all the vines in there on that locust tree, and just crap everywhere, and just not good stuff either. So this area definitely needs a lot of help. From a deer hunting aspect, the deer love it. It's thick, they got spots to hide. It's nowhere close to being a healthy property, but it just depends on what you're looking at. Me personally, I like native plants and things of that nature. So cleaning up all the invasives, having a little bit of quality native species. I think I like that personally. I like that. If you can get some grasses in here and get like an open grass savanna, some people call them, like a timber savanna, stuff like that. Like this could be here. It could be, once it gets opened up, you can get some nice stuff in here. You can have some grasses, some trees, a little mixture of both, something for all the animals. So figured I'd just kind of show you how quickly a property can change in appearance. The bottom ground was young and had some good potential, and then you get up here and it's older and completely different. So But anyways, this will wrap up this particular video. Just trying to do something a little different and get an idea, you know, of the process that I go through when I come look at properties, walk them around, assess them, things of that nature, and try to get an idea of what it's going to take. That way I can relay that back with a forester or relay that back with the landowner. You know, sometimes it'll be to where I just go in there for a day. You know, terrain might be an issue, pretty steep, stuff like that. Couldn't really, you know, sometimes I can't give the landowners an assessment of how long it's going to take. So I just tell them, you know, go in for an 8-hour day and see how it goes. And we'll see. Some landowners like that, some landowners don't. Try to do everyone, customize everyone to each property, and try to give the landowner the best value. I try to look at it from the landowner standpoint. You know, I personally, you know, wouldn't want to afford to have me come in with my forestry mulcher and take care of it. You know, because you already got the land costs, which aren't cheap, and then on top of that, then you gotta pay to have somebody maintain them, or, you know, clean them up with a forestry mulcher. So yeah, so I try to be as fair as possible for both of us, for myself and for the landowner. Try to give them the best bang for the buck, because at the end of the day, if they're happy, then they're going to tell their neighbors. You know, they'll be up at the restaurant, the little local diner, the coffee shop, and they'll be talking about who came out to clean up their property, and they'll flat out tell, you know, if they had a good experience, if they had a bad experience. And I would much rather be the guy who everybody talked about having a good experience too. So, you know, word of mouth to me is far better than the bottom line. You know, it'd be nice to have both, but just the way I was raised, I'd much rather have a happy customer and not make, you know, near as much as a guy come in here just blow and go and go as hard as fast as he could and not take care of them. So I'd much rather take care of them and take a little extra time. So that's why I walk these properties, try to give them an idea of what I think will be the best, and try to give them the best price and product. So if you like stuff like this, let me know. I'll try to post more of it. I generally don't do it. I try to generally squeeze it in, you know, of an evening or late on early morning or something like that. So I generally don't bring everything with me. So I'm just walking around doing this one on my phone. We'll see how it goes, how it turns out. But yeah, if you like this, you want to see something different, you know, hit the comments, let me know. If there's things that you're seeing in my videos that I'm not seeing, absolutely feel free, let me know. I'm all about learning. I'll never stop learning, not till the day I die. But you know, and everybody sees things different. I'll look at properties different than the forester will. He'll look at properties different than the other forester will. You know, and then if you can collectively come together, put all your thoughts together, and come up with a good plan, one good plan, then I think it's even better. So always open for comments and ideas and stuff like that. So if you like it, let me know. Hit the thumbs up, give me a comment, subscribe it, and all that stuff. So thank you very much. We'll see you on the next one.